Well, water main break is impacting traffic at Hurontario and Dundas in Mississauga. For the latest on this situation, let's go live to CP24's Andrew Brennan. I can't imagine that the high winds and the cold weather is helping this situation.
No, but a funny thing, Jamie, even when it's -10 and there's blustery wind, it turns out water doesn't freeze at the freezing mark if it's moving this quickly. Let me get out of the way, and it'll help illustrate the point. So, I mean, I can do some math pretty quickly, but this is something beyond, well beyond me. But you're talking about volumes of water that, if I was going to guess, you're basically getting at least a swimming, like an outdoor backyard swimming pool's worth. Within minutes to maybe a half an hour. That seems like a reasonable estimate, because this is about 200 meters long, 10 feet, 15 feet wide. But also, if you're talking about where it's ponding, that's about, in and of itself, maybe about 30 meters wide, if not a little longer than that, and about the same width-wise, if not even wider. So this is a lot of water. It's also moving relatively quickly out of wherever the rupture is coming from. And I say wherever because right now, what I could tell you is this area, Hurontario, as many people in Mississauga know very well, has been under construction for quite a while as they build the Hazel McCallion LRT. And on the east side of east side of Hurontario is where the construction is happening here. And that's also where the rupture is. So we have reached out as of now to Metrolinx. We're going to see if we can get any details from them. I just emailed the city, well, not the city, the Region of Peel's Waterworks department and the media relations people, actually, that deal with the administrative work. They're closed for the holidays, Jamie, so it's unclear if they're going to be answering my request, but here's hoping. We'd like to know when this happened and also the impacts of this. So just hearing a little bit of honking. One thing that's been, this is not one of those cases, but there have been several of these where cameraman Matt and I have been standing at this corner, again, Hurontario and Dundas, where there are closures in effect. But even with pylons and police cruisers that are blocking two directions right now, there have been people that have attempted to go through the intersection thinking potentially, we can't really say for sure, but whether it's the fact that they don't see where the closure is. Again, from here, it looks pretty obvious. But there's also the fact that because Hurontario has been under construction, they've taken away lanes sporadically on and off. Maybe people are thinking this is just another closure. You can't go north right now from Dundas on Hurontario, and you can't go east from Hurontario or from Hurontario on Dundas. And it's closed in both directions, by the way, on Dundas for about a block. So that just is a little bit of a sense about how much of a impact this has. So, Jamie, this is something, because of the amount of water and the speed it's at right now, it's likely that there's a lot more pressure that needs to be released from this underground pipe, and we don't know how long it could take before it's finally capped. That is some details we're hoping to get from officials, whether it's from the Region of Peel, City of Mississauga, where we're in, or from Peel Police, or even Metrolinx. Right now, we've put in those requests. We're hoping to get those details, and we're going to have to see how much this impacts. Whatever the drive really will probably be closer to 8 o'clock because people sleep in during the holidays, but we'll have to see if this makes any more impacts to their commutes and potentially even to some of the My Way buses around here. I'll send it back to you for now as we look to try to get some folks a little bit more details. But again, Hurontario, Dundas, closures in the area, avoid if you can.
Thanks for the updates, Andrew.